Hi there, Cancer. Welcome to your end of January 2024 tarot update. It's Raina here. I just realized the back of these cards match my decor. Ooh, eights, and I'm recording this on an 8/8 day. It's so funny. Judgment. That's connected to Pluto, and that's the 8th house. It's funny, 8 is really showing up here. Oh my goodness. We have a lot of cards of leaving a situation. Wonder what that situation is. Well, I can tell you astrologically, Cancer. Let's see. Pluto is leaving Capricorn, which is your opposite sign, and leaving that 7th house. And there's a lot of power in that 29th degree. And so maybe it's like a parting gift, if you will. And I'm not saying that necessarily facetiously. It could be truly a gift for you in some way, but it could have something to do with relationships. And keep in mind that, this is, when I do readings on YouTube, it's general because I'm talking about the astrological transits, because some of you can still have Pluto in your 7th house when Pluto goes into Aquarius, which is happening. This is the second entrance happening on January 20th. So keep that in mind. The heart of the matter is the 8 of Swords, and you can kind of tell by the depiction. This is very loyal, faithful to Rider-Waite, Pamela Coleman Smith's illustrations. And this is like a modernized version, which is kind of fun, isn't it, to see different depictions, but very similar to what we're used to. And this can indicate somebody who is really bound to a thought system. The swords are thoughts. Now, it could be a person of the air signs. The swords are air signs. Maybe you're bound to a Libra individual. That squares you off, another cardinal sign. Maybe a Gemini next door to Cancer or Aquarius. And this person is somebody, it's funny because the star card is connected to Aquarius. But in some cases, there might be an impasse because you're so different, or something in your lives don't kind of measure up. So the 8 of Swords is showing you, but actually, to tell you the truth, the 8 of Swords is an internal thing. This is about what you tell yourself. This is the things that you have been programmed to believe, conditioned to believe, and you have taken them as your own. And now they have become, it's like what do they call that? The self defeating thoughts, but there's another term that has to do with your ability to transcend negative thoughts. So the old tapes, you could say. In the past position, we have the 8 of Cups, which is leaving behind what no longer serves you. So the cups relate to water. I always see this card as Scorpio because Scorpio rules the 8th house. But the point is that if we take the number 8 and connect it to the scorpionic energy, it's that deep feeling of connection. And if you're not feeling that, yes, of course, it could be with relationships, but it can also be in the work that you're doing. So these cards could be connected to your profession, your job. And if you feel this sense of oppression, that's what I was thinking of with the 8 of Swords. because something that you are doing is not really fulfilling you, but you find it very hard to kind of let go, then that can be the dilemma here. And the Eight of Swords can be like a lack of self-confidence, fear-based mentality, I feel, because of not feeling like you can be successful in what you truly want to do. And with Cancer, I always get this vibe of like being very security minded. So that anything that threatens your security, that threatens your nest, you may automatically dismiss or shy away from. By the way, I apologize for the quarters, and I've been saying this over and over again, but I keep forgetting to take them off my table. I'm going to try to do this because it's a little bit, although it's off kilter, but I have like a bunch of stuff on my table. Now you can see my other stuff that I got on my table. Oh, well, how can I do this? Oh, well, it is what it is. Yeah, so how do you hold yourself back because of these beliefs that, really are just the old programming? And so this can be like a relationship that, that's one of the big ones with the Eight of Cups. And remember too that because of the activity in January in your relationship sector with the Capricorn transits, that this may really come up for you at this time. And the higher message is the Judgment card. Now, judgment, we could take it in terms of legal judgments for sure, but this position is meant to be like a spiritual lesson. So one of the big ones is discernment, meaning that sometimes people go into something for the wrong reasons and they don't realize how much it can affect them negatively. So for instance, if you accept a job primarily or solely because of the money that you'll earn from it, especially if it's more than you've earned before, and you don't take into account some of the negative consequences of that, you may not really fully appreciate that until it gets really bad, where you have to see how adversely it has affected you. And that's not always fun, because obviously it can, depending on the situation, like if you're lonely and you get involved with somebody who's really bad news, that can ruin so many aspects of your life. They could ruin they can ruin you financially. They can do all kinds of things, and affect you emotionally. So it's really important. So you might have been in that type of situation, but also the Judgment card is a card of rebirth. So you may feel like you're trapped and unable to leave a situation, but if you focus on what the benefits are on the other side, you're more likely to do it. As a matter of fact, the card that crosses you really speaks to this. Three of Wands, if I read it in the upright position, which I'm not going to, which is the more positive of the two, is like this card of expansion. It's a card of like going out and conquering the world, or just having a bigger pasture to roam in, rather than the little world that you've created. And it can feel very safe in that little world, but then it can become almost like a prison cell. It can become very confining. So I'm reading this as the challenge card. So your own beliefs are putting you in that prison cell. They're keeping you playing small, and they're not serving you. But you can't find a way to transcend that for some reason at this moment. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be impossible. What's coming in is the Six of Swords. This is choosing peace. this is a card. Now, this can actually be physical relocation. I've heard a term, I think it's called like the geography cure or something, where they say, you can't really solve a problem by moving somewhere else. It doesn't really work. But I do think I don't think that that's entirely true. I'm not saying that you can just run away from your problems by moving somewhere else. But if you're very conscious of what you're doing, I think that a change of location can be amazing, especially for cancer, because you are easily triggered by the past. So having a fresh environment where you don't have a lot of memories attached to it can keep you moving forward and thinking in the present moment rather than dwelling on the past. So that's one possible interpretation, that you are going to move, that you actually have a move happening for you. And come to think of it, I'm trying to think astrologically. I mean, we're still going, yeah, I mean, we're going to have a lunar eclipse in Libra coming up in March 25th. So that's going to hit the house that you rule, the fourth house of home and family. And that is a lunar eclipse, a very powerful full moon. So that that helps you to release attachment to your property, to that place where you live. That can be the first step. And then in October, early October, there's going to be a solar eclipse here. So this could be the year that a lot of cancers move house. So anyway, that's happening. And also the other, interpretation you could say about the Six of Swords is choosing peace. For some people, because of the way that they're wired, they kind of put themselves in crisis mode on a regular basis. For some reason, this feels familiar to them. I'm assuming how they were raised. And when things are really like mellow or calm, they may get very nervous. But when things are in crisis mode, they can react very suddenly. But then it takes its toll in terms of stress. So I feel like making a conscious decision to choose peace, like if you're in a relationship with somebody who you're always butting heads with, and you choose to leave that relationship because you know that it's not good for you, then you are honoring yourself too. The outcome is a star card. What a hopeful card. This is a card of hope restored. This is faith in unseen forces. This is so important for people who are worrywarts, when they don't see things. Remember the late Wayne Dyer, he had a book called You'll See It When You Believe It, instead of the opposite, which people say. People are always looking for the tangible evidence before they make their move. And that is the lowest form, because by that time, it's not even something that you're really co-creating. It's something that's occurring. So when you are being very intentional about what you want in that stage where it hasn't yet manifested, and you are convinced that you're going into a stage where that's going to show up in the physical, that to me is true confidence and faith in the universe, in life, in God. And this can also be for some people, if you've had any kind of, this is the sign of Aquarius, but if you've had anybody who crossed over recently, especially, I think it's supposed to be that somebody's watching over you, and they're even helping you, kind of nudging you to make certain decisions. But I feel like this card comes when people have dealt with a lot of adversity. So that's really beautiful and hopeful. So anyway, I hope that this resonated with you. And if you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.